Test, test. There we go. Beauty. Nice. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Sorry, a little bit late. of a start this morning. Let's get into Proverbs, pray, and then let's get into the charts. So, we are on June 26th today. So, like snow in summer or rain in harvest, honor is not fitting for a fool. Like a fluttering sparrow or a darting swallow, an undeserved curse does not come to rest. A whip for the horse, a bridle for the donkey, and a rod for the back of fools. Do not answer a fool according to his folly, or you yourself will be just like him. Answer a fool according to his folly, or he will be wise in his own eyes. Sending a message by the hands of a fool is like cutting off one's feet or drinking poison. Like the useless legs of one who is lame is a proverb in the mouth of a fool. Like tying a stone in a sling is the giving of honor to a fool. Like a thorn bush in a drunken's hand is a proverb in the mouth of a fool. Like an archer who wounds at random is one who hires a fool or any passerby. As a dog returns to its vomit, so fools repeat their folly. If you see a person wise in their own eyes, there is more hope for a fool than for them. Sluggard says, there's a lion in the road, a fierce lion roaming the streets. As a door turns on its hinges, so a sluggard turns on his bed. Sluggard buries his hand in the dish, but he's too lazy to bring it back to his mouth. Sluggard is wiser in his own eyes than 7 people who answer discreetly. Like one who grabs a stray dog by the ears is someone who rushes into a quarrel not their own. Like a maniac shooting flaming arrows of death is one who deceives their neighbor and says, I was only joking. Without wood, a fire goes out. Without a gossip, a quarrel dies down. As charcoal to embers and as wood to fire, so is a quarrelsome person for kindling strife. The words of a gossip are like choice morsels, they go down to the inmost parts. Like a coating of silver dross on earthenware are fervent lips with an evil heart. Enemies disguise themselves with their lips, but in their hearts they harbor deceit. Though their speech is charming, do not believe them, for 7 abominations fill their hearts. Their malice may be concealed by deception, but their wickedness will be exposed in the assembly. Whoever digs a pit will fall into it. If someone rolls a stone, it will roll back on them. Lying tongue hates those it hurts, and a flattering mouth works ruin. God, thank you for a new day. Thank you for the end of the week. It's been a great week. Help me to be disciplined in trading today, only trading in specific fill zones. Help me not to overtrade. Pray for everyone watching as well. Pray for a profitable Friday and a good day ahead. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, y'all. Let's get into it. So a bit of an update. Yesterday was a rough one, man. Just called the short, just wrong timing, and that's what I need to work on. It's timing. It's already closing up, opening up pretty bearish on the day. So we've got 4 top step accounts. Just had to sort of reload here. I'm just going way too big on the first accounts, just trying to hit that first day. And if we can hit that first day, then typically the rest of the process and payout a lot less. So I think we're going to add all of these follower accounts. So just making sure we don't add 2 of them. So just needing 1.5 for all of these accounts here. Wanting to trade on MES, we definitely just seem a lot weaker on MES. Might as well take the trade on that account too, but we just want all 4 of these accounts running. This is MNQ. So MNQ is opening up a little bit more bearish today, as we can see here. ES, I just like that, and you can see here all of these highs are lower than the previous high before it. Whereas on MNQ, we have SMTs, so highs popping previous highs and then dropping lower. So ES just seems weaker as a whole. I like this a lot more. We took out yesterday's low. I'm just going to move this previous daily low level, you know. Okay. Definitely targeting yesterday's low would be my target here. We could bounce off here and then push back upside, but based on how it closed, the big sell-off at yesterday's AM session, seems very unlikely that we are going to find our way back up. Check the daily. As you can see, closing pretty bearish. We've had two pretty small range days compared to, you know, a few of these other days we're seeing here. So we could actually be green lighted for a drop. What's up, Dom? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Alright. Watching M1 here, looking to go pretty aggressive on the size once we can. Take out this low. Yeah. Till then, we don't need to add to the size. And using limit orders has just been a lot better for me lately as well. Good to see. Bit slow off the open once again today. I had to trade the afternoon chop. 400 is left. Tough, bro. Tough. Let me see the PM session from yesterday. The 3 o'clock. Yeah, we didn't have too much. Hey, main move was here. Dealing with pain though. Yeah, sorry, bro. So sorry to hear. That's tough. I think markets are still in just such a indecisive point where too much is happening around the world now. Like Apple obviously increasing their prices, the war. There's too much happening that I think bulls just can't. They still want to pump it, but there's just not enough evidence to support higher pricing. How I feel. But probably should maybe take this trade on MNQ just because we're dipping a bit more. We have a bit more action and movement. Yes, we're kind of just struggling here. So yeah, exactly. Fund of Futures family is pretty cheap in comparison. Right, so aiming for 1.5, which will take us, I think, to yesterday's low, or just about, if we can spill past all this. We'll look to scale in. I love the risk to reward here, so pretty much 10 to 1 on this move right here. And look to add in if we are going to continue spilling. I'm just going to check MNQ. Make sure we're seeing a similar chart. Don't need to risk as much with MNQ. Good push back up in here. Right, looks like we want to spill down here. Okay, so yesterday's low is past all of it here. So I'm just gonna put the personal target. Good 8. Okay, so looking good so far here. See both of our positions running. Good drop to the downside now. Beautiful. So one thing I've started to do now is once I'm up significantly in profit, is to continue adjusting risk so we're taking at least half off the table. So we hit 300, I want to be at 150. And I don't care where the retracement is. I don't actually mind if we get stopped out on moves like this now. So it's just about making sure that we're taking what the market's giving. Too many times I've been in such profit and then the positions come reversed on me. So we've got 100 here as well. So about 250 if we get stopped out, just because I've seen we've been in 200 for profit here. And the beautiful thing is if this wants to keep running, like it will, but if we're wrong and this wants to pull back, we at least take something from the market. So many times I've been up such decent amount of size and just not walking away or taking a loss. And that's typically like what tilts me and makes me go over the edge. So beautiful thing about this was securing that profit. If we want to keep going lower, that's been locked in. And as this reaches new targets, so we've just hit 200 again, taking 100. If we can double this and hit 400, that's when we'll adjust risk again. So for this account, we've hit 300. So if we hit 600, then we can double our profits as well. Pretty much just a doubling game. Anticipating on getting stopped out as well, but at least we take profit from this move. It's the main thing. We can always look to get back in, but at least we're ending the accounts green somewhat. Expect to get stopped out at the same time too. So if we take one stop on one, expecting the other to stop us out here as well. Very bad placement, yes. There's more than likely going to be, you know, zones that we retrace to. But let's say we want to take out this whole move and pull back up to here. We at least have taken the profit here, and we can look to re-enter here. But again, if we have too much weakness and we just want to keep pushing down, then we'll take that. So the issue I'm finding at the moment and why I keep blowing accounts is I'll trade my normal session for 75 minutes. And then I'll look to come back maybe around, because this is 6, so maybe like 9 or so, or closer to midnight. I'll look to come back on, take a trade, another trade or two. Typically, you know, it will be break even, take a small loss, take a small win sometimes, but it's just that chop around that session that I'll try and work through. Or I'll be in, again, as we were saying, really, really good in the morning, and then by like 10, 11 my time, price is reversing. I'm not taking partials, getting out, over trading, and that's when my account's going down. If I just stick to set times, I think I'll be doing a lot better. Still looks like we want to a little bit lower here. If we can get to 400 again, that's when we'll adjust to 2. Not a whole lot to do now. Let's stop out for MNQ. Yes, I'm anticipating we're going to get stopped out as well. And if not, that just goes to show. Okay, there we go. Okay, I don't know how that works when we had 150 on one and 100 on another, but that's okay. But up $88 in profit. We're at yesterday's point of control. We haven't done these levels yet, so that. Like using the hourly confirmation of these. Looking for a pullback up into this region. If we can hit back for the value area high for this current session in line with the previous day point of control, that's going to give us an extra green light to keep looking lower. That level is around 684. 683.7. Are you trading? It would help if I was on the right asset class. Wait for this to load. Point of control, pretty much at the same spot. So that would be first partials. 412 if we can get down there. Okay, so it doesn't make sense that we're going to push right up into previous day point of control for ES. We could just go for this value area high at around 427. 427, if we can take out this high, I would be interested in a short. Again, just sticking to the rule of just starting with one micro always, even if the trade looks really, really good. Because that's typically where I'm giving away a lot of the profits. And then I'm in drawdown like 400 or 500 in one trade. Just never the way to play it. Always go small and then scale in when you're right. liking this. A lot more patient on my trading. It's typically like I'm shorting when we're at these lows, just expecting continuation all the time. Very rarely am I letting price come back to me at my price. So I typically notice once I do this, it takes a little bit longer, but my trades are typically a lot better. Win rate's like a lot higher. So. Oh, okay, sick. It did work. I was like, there's no way we only took 88 from that. So 226 is where we're at. I don't know if anyone else is having issues with Top Step doing that lately, but okay, it is what it is. So approaching the value area high here for the session. Might go back and fill up the new day opening gap too. Hence why I've only got one micro here for this short, but I like that we're closing under these levels now. Makes sense for continuation. Okay, if we're starting to see sellers get involved here, I jump in right off the bat. The MNQ, we're at, yeah, previous day point of control, we just tapped for MNQ as well. The volume start to pick up here. Going in pretty aggressive here on the short, looking for just continuation. At least to take these lows. Take the same on MNQ. Just add my stop loss. Bang. Perfect. Perfect. And again, just falling in line with previous day point of control for NQ. And ES. Approaching that value area high. Looking really nice. Previous day value area low. We got so much liquidity here, so I want all of this to be swept. We could bounce off just here after sweeping these lows. So it's a level of 408.25. And that 408 level. Up at that high. Nasdaq is dumping. So this is a fairly big position here. Gotta check where previous day value area low is. I think we're already past it. No, we're not. The 339.5. A fair way down actually. Might be a little bit higher. Yeah, might be a little bit higher. So 372 maybe. Big discrepancy actually. At least running for this low here. I think this is our low hanging fruit. Yes, we can look to go even now. MNQ, very similar. Probably only want to lose that high. Very tight stop. So again, this I don't really like this trade because we're getting in at the low, and unless we see strong continuation right off the rip, it would be a reversal. Not the greatest entry for NQ. Yes, I'm happy with that. good entry off that rejection, but a little bit early here for MNQ. As you can see, exhibit A. Okay, so stop that break even on ES. Could actually look to get back in. Putting this. The 390 is previous day value. I still wanted this level, so 408. I think it's pretty low hanging fruit. MNQ still wants to climb a little bit. NQ is moving a little bit better, so I might look to take the continuation on MNQ. I like the fact that we've hit previous day point of control as well. So that's pretty good to see. And so this is why entry placement matters so much. Like, this entry was really bad. What I was talking about just before about letting price come to me rather than chasing, this has erased all of our profit for today. I mean, and with heavy size as well, like I should have just gone with 1 micro. Then you're able to scale in at this point. Yes, looks like it wants to drop from here. Well, then happy to increase that risk. I like trading ES a little bit better though, in terms of how much you can put on with risk and everything like that too. So, holding us up a little bit here. Probably should have scaled in, but just need that confirmation that we're actually gonna move to the downside here. The most I want to be down is 200, so if we get to 428, we'll close ourselves out with both here. Yes. Looks like it's dropping here. I just realized my face is in the way. So you guys can see now. That should be a bit better. Okay, ES is looking pretty good, man. I might just continue to scale in on here. Okay, 8. Just go to check MNQ now, or where ideally we want to be. I really want to target this low. A fair bit of liquidity here, so 585.75. 585. Not too much more, but it should be enough profit for what we need. So just move it a little bit higher, just to ensure that we do get the fill here. Yeah, targeting this low here. Finally in profit on MNQ. ES is looking good. So yeah, if we can push towards these lows, that should do us for today. Activate these accounts, and then I think just the plan is to lock out until London session. Avoid all of that chop in the Asian morning. Potentially can look at a trade at 10. I don't mind that open volatility right away. Oh, so price swing's gonna have to adjust risk here now, especially on the MNQ position. That's a lot to be risking. So risking like about 600 for a total loss here. So 630, we're up to 100. So it's going to be about $400 in drawdown if we get stopped out here. So if we can move to break even, take some profit as well. This first low is what we'll be eyeing. Really don't like this entry on MNQ. Really, really bad placement. Wouldn't want this high to be taken once again. Protect this high too. So back to MES. Stops to this high. So $100 risk, 330. So we're down about $100 if we come back here. We to accept that risk. Okay, perfect. I'm just organizing some work stuff myself. Okay, beauty. Alright, lovely push, especially on MES. We've just taken out those lows, so I'm gonna move stops to break even on NQ here. I don't really like the position if I'm being completely honest. Okay, break even on both trades here. Looking for just this continuation spill lower. Alright, stopped out on NQ. Probably a sign we might get stopped out here on ES. Yeah, I didn't really like my NQ position here. So move to break even as soon as we can take out the PM lows as well. Not bad to get back in for MNQ here. We've actually pushed up a little bit. Let's see if we can continue this move. Don't like the volume that's coming in after taking out these lows, so just got to be careful for that. But we can look for a pretty big move. Again, just gonna start with my 1 micro, but keep that in mind. Sitting at about 500, so a third of the way here. There's a fair bit of volume to the buy side, so I'm just gonna be cautious of that here. We can spill lower, great. If not, it's a weird spot to stop though. Like we've already engulfed this. I think we should continue spilling lower here. Yep, so rejection there. Just looking for a rejection on NQ as well. We can go a little bit more aggressive on the NQ move here. Watching the ES figures here too. So if we can crack 300 and keep dropping, green lights me to jump back in on MNQ here. Just want to see the same thing. MNQ dropping, MES dropping, and MNQ at the same time. Once we can see that, we'll jump in. 18. We're break even here as well, so might be a few trades till we get the one winner. But if we can just go to break even as soon as possible, or when things just aren't looking too great, just waiting to see if we can hit 300 here. So looking for about 250. There's a 300 tap. Jumping back in short. There we go. So looking for about 250. Especially if this MES wants to drop down to this level. So 250 plus these amounts, we should be at our target for the day. Can honestly add more and scale in if we are going to continue dropping here. So if we take out this low, I think we'll look to double our position here. Make sure our stop's in place. Beautiful. Perfect. The other level was at 585. 587. That's actually a pretty good spot. Nice clean draw. And look to scale in one more time if we can get a decent push here. So 160 is what we're risking here. Try and take this at about the 160 mark or so, just so that if we do come back, get stopped out, we will be pretty much break even. This already. Cool. About a $40 loss if this comes back on us here. Ideally, we actually should be a little bit higher. Should be at this low. So about $100 loss if we push back up. And take these highs. It's looking like. Just want another push back into profit if we can. Okay, stop out on both. Okay, down to 91 here. Just needing some clean move. Again, this exchange of volume at this amount here is the only thing that's got me a little bit. Okay, could go to fill up this. Want to see a closure above VWAP to confirm we are actually pushing up here though. Know why it's not updating here. Okay, seeing a push above point of control here now. So yeah, longs could actually be warranted. I'm just going to take it on the. So ES is actually looking a little bit more bullish. So it might drop down to S. This is looking interesting. Wait, what? What? I don't know why I had hedging on. Anyway. Okay, so fading this downward move. I'm trying to push for a long now. Value area high resting here. Could push back for the opening gap. Weird spot to stop kind of out of the blue. We still have this volume imbalance here, so might be going to fill this. So gonna risk $83 here. Just going back to our break-even amount. Looking to scale in pretty quickly if we see what we need to see. We're catching the low of the move, if that's the case. See if we can push past this VWAP. Need to close above it. Again, I think we're just going to fill this, so the target would be this high here. But again, just waiting to see the volume, the orders at key levels. What are we actually doing? I think the closure above the point of control here is kind of telling. This delayed, yeah. So this closure above point of control, as long as we don't like fold immediately off this, we should be okay for higher pricing. See the volume that's coming in. Yeah, so a lot of these big volume candles now to the downside being eating up. Volume taking out this low. Yep. There we go. Looking positive for this long here. Looks like buyers still want to push this up, so just getting ready to scale in pretty quick. See what we need to see. The importance of like being flexible as well, trading both sides, both directions. It's looking pretty bullish to me, man. Trying to see where 80 is. A bit of risk to be working with. So $200 loss is where we're trying to keep it at. Bit of a tough read, I'm not gonna lie. M3. Targeting up to about here. Control, the lowest here now too. Don't like that we have opened up so bearish as well on the day. Could be mindful of that. Might have gone in a bit too heavy on the size here as well. I think that's point of control tap or just underneath. All right. We can get a closure above all of this. Kind of green lights us here. Interesting spot for MNQ. Yeah, we're gonna get out. More loss taken. MNQ seems better for the levels that we've already tapped. We've already tapped that value area high, resting at these highs now too, so it's gonna be my last attempt. This is where I'm starting to recognize, okay, over trading now, we're not making too much on what's happened. Let's just relax, pull the brakes a little bit, go back to 1 micro to start with. I'm back on this short idea. Opened up already so bearish on the day. Let's not try and fade that. On days like this where I absolutely lose it. And so targeting yesterday's low for MNQ seems to make sense. At least the 340.75 level. 40, 75, around there. Okay, to the downside. And this is like where I need to chill out as well. Looking at the size that we're using now, anticipating to be wrong, like we can still have these big targets we're aiming for without risking whole account per trade. It's got to actually let it like breathe and run to get there. In saying that, I do want to size up pretty quickly here if we see what we need to see. So we're just going to do the doubling method. 2 micros on right now. I can afford to take $160 worth of risk. That's cool. Looking for 1,560 or so. And so really looking with our stop at 159, if we can get in profit 159, then we'll look to double again. I think that's a method I asked Claude to help me with, like come up with a trading strat. And that's pretty much what it's recommended. Let's across a bit more. Minute and a half. Okay, should start going lower from here. Filling in once again. And now that we're at 8, so it does make the doubling process. So you can build up a pretty big position pretty quickly. Again, risks still being at about that sort of 200 mark. Anticipating sellers to get pretty involved right about now. Looking at the halfway point on the M3. Expecting that like first few minutes is going to go the opposite direction, and then the last few minutes for the candle closure pushes back. Do have some pretty key levels all resting here. Would want to see this all protected. All of these highs in here. This should be our swing high. Then looking for a spill to the downside here, right off the open. If we push up higher, then we're going to get stopped out. That's okay. But anticipating now the reversal move to the downside. So looking for a closure below point of control now. Sellers to get aggressive. If buyers hold this, then more than likely we're going to continue shooting higher. Good entry, good entry. It's a better entry because I'm more scared. Here feels a little bit more confident because we've already got momentum. Here's a bit scary because we're already pushing up. It looks like we're contesting for these highs once again. But this is ideally the spot where you want to be shorting, or around here. Even if we get wicked out, probably going to find some resistance at the value area high levels and then continue lower. Be great if we just started from here, but okay. Might swing a little bit higher. Take out these highs, maybe even. Push up into this tiny little gap and then spill. Watching this high still intact for now. We close in profit, we're going to scale in. So we're catching it at the high now. So if sellers are involved, we should be pushing past these lows. If we are truly bearish on the day. Ideally, we just want to try and get back this level in here. Again, waiting for a closure in profit, especially on a 30-second. Like you'd need to see it on like a M1 or something a little bit higher before you can adjust stops. But again, you can see obviously from just starting with 1 micro, we're at 8. We're looking to double now to 16. How the doubling method works, as long as you're seeing what you need to see on the charts and prices respecting the theory that you have in play. So again, need a closure to confirm. Beautiful. I think this is just confirmation that my best entries are typically ones that I'm scared to get into, and are pulling away from the move. So if you want to go short, make sure you're getting in on an upward move. If you want to go long, make sure you're getting in on a downward move. Okay, so we closed in profit. Just want to see if this holds for this next minute. So if we hold and we push down towards this low again, and add in our 8. Together, there we go. There's 8. Okay, cool. Just risk pretty quickly here, and we can get down to these lows. Brilliant. Great new set of lows. What's the time? 48. Got about just over 25 minutes on this session here. Let me just duck to the toilet real quick. All right. Perfect timing to come back for the stop out. Interesting here. Direction pushing back up strong with buyers here. So original long play might have still been it. It is looking like is the case, depending on where this closes. Looking bullish based on all that, but on a lower time frame, it's still looking like we want to go bearish here. So that was 16 micros for that short. Stops ideally up in here, actually. Okay. Original short play is still going to be the case here, considering we're struggling to get above. We're just going to wait for a little bit here. What time? We got 9, so 24 minutes to go for this session here. We get down to 500. I think we call it. Still want to spill lower here. Still like my original plan. Just got to be careful with that risk and ideally getting to break even as soon as possible. Still struggling to go higher, even though we want to. MNQ now. Very tapped previous day point of control, so I go to the value area high here. So what's this? 672? Around 672. Yeah, taking out these highs. Yeah, it's doing, yeah, bouncing up as well. Value area high tap for ES. Value area high tap for MNQ here now too. Going a little bit more aggressive. Short move here. Again, the entries that you don't want to be a part of. So good, we kept the stops where they were. The adjusted probably would have been stopped at. This is that 30-second level that we had in mind. If we lose this high, we might keep pushing higher. Get to 6 for this doubling. If this high remains intact. OpenAI leans towards waiting until next year. They've seen SpaceX and what's happened with SpaceX and being like, nah, we don't want a part of that. This is looking promising here, I'm not gonna lie. Just got to watch this M3. Really needing 661 to be engulfed. Push straight down here. And just taking it at the value area high, hence the reason for short here. Okay, a lot of orders happening here. Haven't taken the high. Sellers getting involved. Just want to see more volume. And a good push to the downside. Okay. Might need to get out here again. Aye, aye, aye. Rough one. Okay, so that's pretty much going to be it for the session here. Should have held on to our idea for the long, pushing in here. Maybe going back to fill in this gap that we highlighted before. If sellers start taking this over here, it's going to be rough to see, but it is what it is. Like the holding here, some positions in here we could push up into. I still think shorts are the play, just getting in a bit early, it's looking like, but yeah. Bit rough here. Doubling method hasn't worked. Yeah, interesting for the wick here. Lots of volume and then coming back down. It's an interesting position, I'm not gonna lie. Really want to see that weakness on like an M3. If we can take this higher than on an M3 close bearish, I think that's going to be better confirmation. But look, to be honest, we're in overtrading territory and there it is. There's the dump, man. There's the dump. Oh, I think we're still in this position. Okay, seeing some volume now, stepping in. Just whether that's going to hold or whether our buyers are just going to push straight past here. Time. About 15 minutes to go anyway. Looking for 9 o'clock reversals. Maybe we push up until 9 and then 9 actually spills us lower. Looking bullish for now at least anyway. Previous day point of control. We've just reached that 2 again now. Yeah, big gaps in here, man. Big gaps. Point of control tap once again. Ideally like to take this higher, right? Like take out some liquidity before going lower. Stay on for the next 15 minutes. There's an liquidity probably like this high in here. Hey, these highs push into around this region. I'd say like previous day. Previous daily low. OVAO. 10-hour trade here. So what is that? 1 to $210. For that 9 o'clock. Well, 9 a.m. my time. Okay, last few seconds. Might anticipate a bit of a push to the region here. Could go all the way for the gap. But just waiting to see some weakness. That's looking pretty bearish to me as well. Back in short, if we want to push back in here, we can scale to the 1 max size we can have on is 210, I believe it was. Anticipating a 10-hour move here. Yeah, that was pretty telling, man. That liquidity sweep plus all of this buy volume. Should have just held on to that long, man. Especially after not being able to come back here along with this candle. Everything in hindsight, right? Yeah, that's nice, actually. Still lower on the day. Closing a previous day. Point of control. Yeah, buyers just really not wanting to let this thing drop. I think that's just all it is. Resting at this level. Just waiting for a big amount of selling volume. All we really need to see. There we go. Mainly want to see this side pick up. about this high too. Minutes to go. The no man's land here, so just waiting for volume to really tell the story. Just saw in this candle, you can see volume similar to this level. The green lights us for a bit more. Jumping off in 12 minutes here as well. Lots of attempts to go higher here. Buyers might be giving up this run. So again, we just need to see volume. The downside, once we see that, that kind of green lights us a little bit more. Happy to take more entries at around this level. A golden zone. Oh. Five still here. Really struggling at this level here. Previous day point of control. Just can't find the juice to go higher. 8 minutes to go. Yeah, just waiting for that volume. I don't want to be the only one shorting at this level. Pretty much why I just want to wait for confirmation that there are other people involved. A lot of waiting. A lot of waiting. Okay, volume could be picking up here. Still pretty light. Yeah, that just goes to show how significant these value levels are for volume profile. Previous day point of control just cannot get above this level. And it looks like we're starting to have movement, some volatilities coming in, so we're starting to see some volume. Just need to see where this candle closes now. Orders are happening. We close bearish. This is looking pretty good for continuation to the downside. Pretty bearish. Waiting for these other time frames as well, especially like an M5. Yeah, so M5's closing here. Still don't have as much volume as we've seen previously, but a closure in profit is a good indication that, you know, obviously we've accepted this is going to be our high. We want to see momentum to push us away from here. 5 minutes to go. Yep, continue here. Is looking pretty good, not gonna lie. Volume stepping in too. Definitely not as much as what we've had back here, but it's a good start. Just don't want to see this eaten up in the last few seconds here. Yeah, it's sort of what I didn't want. Not strong enough of a closure, unfortunately, hence why we didn't want to scale in. And I think that's the thing I need to work on too, is like only when you're like abundantly clear do you add in that risk. You add in that, you know, once you confirmed what you're seeing, what you need to see, and scale into the position. Learning from the previous big loss that we took before as well. Yeah, I think we were just doing a bit too much. Being completely honest, but let's see if we can push up into here, reject off here with steep volume, and then that green lights us to go lower. We've just taken out all of these highs, all those highs taken, looking for volume to match that. Last few minutes again, and another big sign was like not seeing volume on this similar level to the downside. So it's nice to see a bit of a rejection and bearish move, but because volume is still relatively low, it's a lower probability, and we're pushing up to the entry that we had for this idea in the first place. Good. Looks like we've taken out that high as well, or resting just at it. So just patience, wait to see what we need to see. It's good that a lot more volume's happening at this area, so even for buyers, like, it means transactions are happening at this zone, so it's not a bad time to consider getting in. Yeah, this was such a nice long, man. Seeing this volume being higher than all of this, such a nice opportunity there. Should have just held. That's TP right there. Accounts passed. Frustrating, but it is what it is. Taking out these highs. Now, good amount of volume on that candle too. Just want to see a sharp influx though. I want to see levels to about here. The downside. Okay, there's the M5 tap. Not a bad spot for sellers to start jumping in. There we go. A fair bit of movement there. Oh, there we go. And volume starting to match. This is perfect. Okay, I didn't mean to actually do that. There's that volume that we're talking about. We just need to see if sellers actually want to jump in here or if buyers still want to push this. Got the volume now at least. That's step one. Look at that. Yeah. Whoa. Man, that long would have paid dividends, bro. My days. It's okay. Crazy spot. I don't know why we're pushing up this far. MES now at opening gap. Two more minutes to go. Saw the volume we needed to see just the wrong way. I'm glad we only added in one micro. Wow. Rough session today. Rough session. There's the gap fill though. Interesting to see if sellers step in, but yeah. We're gonna wait till London session for this last 200 to work with. The good thing is it's just the max daily loss. We can come back. Just frustrating being up and then giving it all away, but that's all right. Just work on scaling in entries, watching the order flow as well with volume. I think that's super key because that was such a clean long. We did get in long. I just didn't back it. Still thought we were going lower. Look at this, man. TP easy off that. But anyway, I digress. Have a good weekend, guys.